It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer, joined by Chris, Real Ale 140. Great comments coming in. A lot of people saying glad to have him back. It's always good to have him on. It's always good to kind of bounce different tastes off each other. But Helge over in Norway sent us in a few more beers. This one being a Beavertown and Ægir, a collaboration. It's a Beaver Double White IPA.
So really pleased with that. Beavertown getting a name out around and going and playing with some people abroad. It can only be a good thing.
Going over to Norway. Brilliant, brilliant. Now, what Helge did say in the email is that don't worry about the bits floating in the beer. It's actual lime. There's bits of lime floating around in the beer. So hence the little warning there. But there's the bottle cap. Let's get it out into a glass. See what we get.
Yep.
Check some in your glass.
So this is billed as a white IPA, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. That's
8%.
an interesting category, isn't it? Because we've had white stout. An IPA you would normally expect to be blonde or you're in that kind of area. Why have they called it specifically a white IPA? The questions.
Yeah. Now I've had a couple of white IPAs from America. Oh, look at that. Yeah, let me give you some of that lime.
Okay. Where's that in?
You can see that there.
Okay. And I've seen this done with orange zest before. Who was that by?
Bloody hell. Orange
yeah, the
IPA.
Bloody Hell, yeah, which was the Beavertown one. So they've used a different zest. Same idea.
You can see that there's quite a bit of lime floating around in the glass.
Yeah.
Lots of it.
Now, when I was a kid, going to the pub with my parents or whatever, I'd always suck on the bit of lime at the end of the drink.
Yeah.
From the look of this is gonna maybe recreate that experience.
It looks lovely. Fair play to the beer. That looks really good.
And that's one finger head.
Yeah, one finger head, yellow,
Sustained as
IPA-ish colour.
It's a very bright kind of it's almost like when you pop your vitamin C drink in and it's that kind of colour, isn't it? Vitamin C tablet in. Don't you catch that with the light?
You've had a lot of the Beavertown beers. Well, you introduced Beavertown to me, didn't you?
Yeah.
Before we started reviewing them. And then we had a kind of a big session on them about 18 months ago where we just got a load of British craft beer in and got reviewing. But anyway, let's dive into this aroma.
So this is Norwegian and British.
Yeah, so it's Ægir Brewery or Bryggeri maybe. That smells lovely.
You pick the lime straight off the nose.
Yeah.
A very, very tropical kind of hit.
Maybe like a white pepper and spice in there.
Yeah. You're
Dryness?
almost into that saison kind of hit on the nose, aren't you?
Yeah. It smells really good. Let's dive in. Cheers, everyone.
Jim.
Oh wow.
8% you say?
8% ABV.
Just
Unbelievable. That's
no,
fantastic.
No, you wouldn't even think for a second that was 8%.
Yeah.
You think, you're probably used to drinking decent beer by now, but 8%, you're looking at special brew. This is as smooth as a baby's backside. That is incredible how they've managed that with all that kicking lime in there. That's fantastic, and that's actually it's almost like bits of that lime have stuck themselves to bits of my mouth.
Yeah.
And they're making the back of my throat.
And it's really kind of grasping, isn't it? It's a rasping, grasping sharpness as well as that bitterness from the hops.
It's like that buccaneer kind of almost Viking-esque kind of that with the lime and the sharpness. And all the while, actually, there's a real nice, subtle but strong malty character going, underlaying the whole thing, and making that experience okay, and just not making it too jammy and not too sharp.
Nice bit of sweetness, as Chris mentioned, with the malt, balances it out. And I got to be honest, I was a little bit worried. I've had a couple of lime beers before, and to be quite frank, they were by mass-produced breweries, and they were blooming awful. This, fair play to this, they've done it right. They've got it right.
I think what you see a lot with the mass-produced stuff is that they're calling them radlers and stuff like that.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, and they're like 3%, and it's crap.
Yeah.
So you don't even think about that. But what this is doing is it reintroducing the idea of fruit and beer as not actually a fruit beer, but as things that can go quite well together.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not reintroducing it, that's too strong a term, but actually it's a good example of mastering it.
Yeah. Mastering the style. When kind of Helge said in an email that there'd be little bits of lime floating around, I thought that's going to be really overpowering. That's going to really kill the beer, but it's not, is it? It really hasn't.
No, because that underlying malt character, which is really good and strong, and actually quite different to any Beavertown beer I've had before. Beavertown does carry a malt character, but this maybe this is where the Norwegian hit is.
Yeah.
Because the beers we've had, I think previously, and the last one we had from them was carried that very well. There's a tiny little bit in the back of my mind of the slight kind of hint of the what do we call it? Just that tiny hint of farmyardness to it. Is that too strong a word?
No, I think like that kind of almost Belgian yeast style.
Yeah, it's
almost funky.
It's quite
like
rustic. Yeah, funky is the right word, and that's okay. It's good because it keeps you entertained with that kind of sometimes you like a beer just to challenge you, and make you have a bit of a think. There's no, you can sling any number of beers down your throat endlessly. Well, we've got a couple of punk IPAs kicking around, haven't we? You could do that all day long. But this is actually making me puzzle slightly.
Yeah. And, well, looking at the beer in the glass, it's lovely lacing on it. Great. Would you say there's a great fruity tone in it as well? I think the hops really are they're there. They're doing a great job. There's not a big rasping bitterness on the back end, is it? It's more to do with the lime.
Yeah. Yeah, you get the feeling that the lime is really driving that, but getting your nose back in it, there's still that kind of slight lilty kind of bash to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So rating. Go for your rating, Chris.
I'm happy to give this 8.5 out of 10, I think.
8.5 out of 10. That's a great rating. I'm gonna join Chris on an 8.5 out of 10. I think it's a very good IPA. It's very tasty. It's a great collaboration between Norway and the UK. Between two great breweries, really. I'd like to try some more of the Ægir Brewery beers, and there's a couple more Beavertowns I want to try.
They keep coming out with new ones.
All the time. So, 8.5 out of 10. Thanks to Real Anyone 40 for joining me. Put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer reviews, and cheers.